Hi Entropians, it's me, Mikhail. Here we are at Celeste Harbor on our planet Arcadia in Entropia Universe. I thought I'd go over a few frequently asked questions and maybe some tips and tricks for the very new player. I think we're going to start with talking about the keyboard skills. I just thought that we could go over a few controls. By default, if you press your letter G, it brings up your keyboard mapping. The reason I want to talk about your keyboard mapping is because a lot of people don't realize how versatile the keyboard mapping can be for you. For instance, Entropia lets you map 9 keyboards and they're hooked to your F buttons. So if I press F1, there's a default F1 keyboard. Some of these I would never move, but others I would. And the nice thing is, I can customize this any way I want. If I want this to be my mining keyboard, I can press I for inventory, and I can pull my mining tools onto whichever buttons I want. In order to edit your keyboard, press L by default. When you get this trash can up here and the edit panel up here, that means that you can drag your tools onto your keyboard. So if I want to put that there and maybe my drill tool there and maybe, oh I don't know, like my refining tool there, I can. And then I press L and it commits the changes, and then if I click it, I hold the tool. But even better than clicking it, if I press G so that it goes away, and then I press my number 9 key, it switches to my transformer. Isn't that amazing? I know, I love it. Like I said, you can cycle through a bunch of different keyboards. So let's pretend this is my mining keyboard. That's F1, F2. Look at that, your emotion keyboard. You might want to blow a kiss. I know you can't really see it, but hey, let me move this down. You might want to blow a kiss. There you go. It almost looks like I'm flipping you off, but I'm not. And then along with that, any buttons I've dragged out on this keyboard set show up on my desktop. Now you're asking, well, how did I get like the armor button out here? Or, I don't know, other buttons. Well, first let's cycle through and look at all the fun things. Here I've got all the dance moves and all the emoticons. Actually, this is one of my favorite. Yeah, look at this one. I winked at you. Didn't I look like Angelina Jolie just then? Yeah, I thought so. You can cycle through all these keyboards. What I favor is I press F6 and I have a lot of things. I have like my weapons, or over here my guns. And then down here I've got my swords. Up here I've got my knives. You know, I have another knife here, but it broke and I never replaced it. I've got my heal chips, I've got my teleportation chips, I've got my mining tools down here. You know, so really one keyboard for me is enough for the most part. But I just want to let you know, you can set this up to be whatever makes you comfortable. What I was talking about as far as getting buttons out on the desktop, like this warp button, I don't know that that's anywhere on any of these keyboards by default. I could be wrong. But to get them out, you would go into edit mode, which is your L, press Y for your action library, type in what you're looking for, which is warp. Oh my gosh, look at that. And then you flip to that page, and then you could drag that button out on the desktop. Or brake your vehicle, meaning stop your vehicle, not broken. Your use tool and your unequip tool, and I mean everything. You can page through just page by page and look for fun buttons to drag onto your desktop or even your keyboard. You can move these onto the keyboard. You know, you can move this to an F11. Well, yeah, purchase button. I don't do that because then all of a sudden I'd be like F11, F11. No, I try not to. If you put something there and you don't like it, well then throw it in the trash and say, okay, it's still here in your action library, you can get it later. And it's not on your keyboard. Press L to exit the edit, press G to make your keyboard disappear, press Y as long as you're not in that type box to get your action library to disappear. Other thing I wanted to cover is the option box. Now to get that open, I press the letter O. That brings up my game controls. Some of the more interesting controls. Enable aim mode, which allows you to aim by moving the mouse without pressing the right mouse button. And by default, that is the space bar. How that works, like right now, I'm moving my mouse around. Look it, I'm moving my mouse. Nothing's happening because I'm not in aim mode. But I press my space bar and suddenly I am in aim mode. And as I move my mouse, my head turns and looks around. That could be real fun for filming an exciting video such as this. Look what's behind me. A fortune teller. Don't I look beautiful? Look at me. I'm beautiful. Okay, press the space bar again, and then I have my mouse control back, and she straightens out because she's looking straight ahead. That's one control that I have turned on. I have the checkbox, which means I can use it. It's on your main controls tab. If you go into HUD, this is the other thing, my damage text size, I turn that way up because I want to see if I'm hitting a mob, I want to see what kind of damage I'm doing to them. It's helpful not only for filming these videos, I mean, I always play with it that big. Once upon a time, I'd be like, I'm shooting and nothing's happening because I don't always drag the health bar out. Yeah, and someone said, well, maybe you should turn your damage text up to a bigger size so you can see it. The show shots left. That's handy because you want to know if you're holding a gun how many shots you got going on left. Say I got 1,000 shots, which means I should probably go hunting. I enable private chat logging and main chat logging, and what that does is it throws it to a chat file in your Entropia folder, in your documents. I like it because then if I need a position or something from a mining run, I can go back and retrieve it. I occasionally will truncate my files. I think the Entropia Life tool, the Entropia Tracker tool, will also truncate for you so that they don't get so large. And then kind of make a backup copy for you. That's what I do. I keep a copy. Also, you never know when someone's going to be a douchebag to you, and you need a copy of that text to show the world. The other thing I have turned on is I disable my loot windows. You might have seen in some of my videos where I'm killing a mob and then a list of loot shows up here in the corner, instead of in a box with a bunch of pictures that I'd have to hover over to see what I got. Yeah, it's because I turned off the loot windows. I want to see a list with a TT amount. I don't want to see a box with a bunch of stuff in it. And play with it. You'll see what I mean. Hide tutorials, I turned that on in a hurry. New players might want to have that turned off because then the tutorials will be up here in this little box thing and it'll be annoying, but it'll teach you stuff, you know, so until you feel a little more comfortable here, you might want that turned off because you don't want to hide them. The other fun thing, which I think I'm going to start using because I'm getting real old, let me make my box bigger. Shh, don't take that the wrong way. That's disgusting. So you can see, you can't really read my text, but I can change the font size. I can go large, click apply, see how I like it. Hey, that's pretty nice. What if I go extra large? Well, then you might see my secrets, but it's okay because as we've covered in other videos, I don't have any secrets in Entropia. So there. And maybe this is what I'm going to do while I'm filming my hunting sprees and stuff so that you can see my perception lines. Of course, I will shrink my window a little and then move it to the bottom. And you'll note these little dots down here that light up. That lets me drag my window bigger, smaller, around. Ooh, kind of like it that big. Then we'll throw it down the bottom. Always show the ticker. I turned that off. I only want it to pop up sometimes. And you can actually have it set to a pet amount so that you'll only see globals that are higher than X amount. Again, that's just a preference. I do have the flashing indicators turned on, so that's what this is here. Private action from friends and others. Actually, it will pop up right here in the corner, and it'll say PM for private message, and then you know someone's trying to contact you. Graphics, I play windowed. If you are on Arcadia, Arcadia is really the only place I can think of that has a problem right now, but it gets real dark here. It's super scary, especially when you're out, you know, by a bunch of Carabocs or Oratons or something, and it gets real dark in the night. Well, you can fix that. I play on medium graphics. Doesn't this look fantastic for medium graphics? And I'm holding my mouse wheel down to do this instead of toggling aim mode. There's so many ways to do things. It's just like Microsoft. 2 ways to do everything. 3 ways maybe to do everything. Here's where you can set your privacy settings, your hide offline time if you don't want people looking and going, oh my god, he hasn't been in game for 27 days. Did he die? Is he okay? Did he break his leg? We haven't seen him. We're worried. If you want to hide that time so that they don't worry, that's where you would check that. Your incognito means just that you can go invisible. The visible in player register, I have that checked because I want you to find me. If you're looking for me, it's real easy to type MIK in the player register and my name will pop up. And then you can PM me or something. Maybe add me as a friend. My online status, again, I have nothing to hide, so I always share that. My achievements, if someone wants to right-click on me and see my achievements, I don't care. Go ahead. I'm pretty proud of what I've done. I've only chipped in a couple times. One time was for swords, melee. Long story, but I was going to ancient Greece and I felt like I needed to use a sword that was bigger than the stupid rinky-dink TT one. Worked out pretty well. That's just the quick overview of the options by pressing O. You can press O again and it'll disappear. See, look at O on, O off. O for on and off. It's pretty amazing. We can talk about the radar, the SatNav. The orange dots are either trade terminals or they're NPCs, meaning non-player characters, meaning the people you have to talk to get missions, or the people you have to talk to turn in tokens, or your auctioneer, daily mission broker. That's what these orange dots are. The blue dots are always teleporters. And if I look right in front of me, approximately straight in front of me, and now we could play a game. Watch this. This will be real fun. I am going to say, in my main, I'm going to say POS. When I typed /POS, that is the instruction to kick out my current location. Okay? Now, my SatNav is zoomed all the way out. Can we measure? Let's go measure. And we'll be close enough. Then we turn around. Now you see the blue dot's at the center because I'm basically standing on it. And when I click my waypoint, 77 meters away. So it's a little more than 25-ish. It's like 35-ish to the first circle. 35-ish to the second circle. Actually, no, probably 40, because if I truly backed up so I was on the teleporter, then it's like 83 meters. So each line is like 40 meters. That's probably good to know, because when you do a mining run in a grid pattern, you want to drop every 100 meters. So as I back up, I guess it's going to get out to that furthest blue line, and it's going to be about 100 meters. No, not really. That's so strange. See, we're learning something new. Just outside of that second circle is 100 meters. But you can zoom in to adjust. And now it's 100 meters from me to the outside of my circle. Play with it, learn. It's always fun to do. I guess that's all I've got for this episode. Please let me know in the comments what you'd like to see in the future, and don't be afraid to click that subscribe button. because Amazons need love too. Bye.